There you go.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Guitar Gear Locker. This is episode live show number 10. And my name is Alex Books. This is my co-host, Roger Sutherland. And yeah, hopefully everybody tunes in for a little bit. We have a few announcements tonight, a few subjects to talk about. And yeah.
Let's rock. So what's first? Well, first we're on tonight because you're going out of town this weekend you can give the big news.
I'm sure. Yeah. So if anybody knows, I have a band, Immolation, that I play in, and we are playing. Let's see. First, we're playing Friday night. Where am I playing? Well, we're playing in Canada at up in Quebec, and I wish they had the actual address on here. Well, we're playing Friday night in up in Quebec.
But I forgot where
Troy Revere's at the Troy Revere's Metal Fest, and so we're headlining that night. And the opening bands, if I can read the logos, Beyond Creation. I have no idea what that says. Reanimator, Dreamfire, Backstabber, and I don't know what that says. So it shows my age. Now I can't.
So, I've done work with that one band before, Backstabber. I've done work with them.
Oh, okay.
It's another story.
So and then Sunday, we're playing we're playing in Staten Island, New York. And
right.
Not our normal place that we play. And so we're playing there, which is actually a really cool show. So it's all New York bands, all old school,
cool
New York death metal. So it's us headlining with direct support from Mortician, Internal Bleeding, and Malignancy. So that's a really stacked show, and it's actually up by the Amityville house.
Right.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, so that should be a really good one. Both of them. You know, we're psyched because we haven't done any we haven't done any headline shows this year. You know, we went on the Cannibal Corpse, so this is 2 headline shows that we have. Longer set, obviously. So we got a pretty cool collection of songs to play. From the beginning of the career to now. So
wow. Sort of like the Philly show was?
What's that?
Is it sort of like the Philly show was?
No, it's a mix. Yeah, the Philly show is just all old stuff where it's going to be, we're going to play everything,
nice.
Pretty much all the eras of the band. So.
Nice. We have to give a shout out here. First time catching it live. Welcome.
Nice.
Everybody feel free to shoot some questions in.
Sure.
We have some live entertainment too.
So we have that, and then actually our book has come out. So you can get that now, which is basically the story of the band.
Wow.
It's a long career, so it's 36 years of the band. So it covers a good deal of stuff in there, I think, and a
lot of history.
It's hard to get everything into 36 years of the band, and particularly Bob and Ross keeping this thing going since 1988.
Right.
Impressive as it is,
right.
Yeah, the band's doing better than ever.
Right. It's going to be like a history book of metal, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So there's a lot of cool people, interviewed in the book, and so
I can't wait to read it.
Yeah,
that's cool. So y'all are pretty busy. So you go out. So that's this weekend. Then you have another one coming up, right? Or am I wrong? Or am I mixing these two?
We do have stuff, but that's not announced yet.
So no. I wasn't talking about that. I mix these two together. I thought it was 2 separate trips, but it's 1 trip to 2 places.
Yeah. So
I thought y'all were doing Amityville and then Canada. So
so we're playing up in Quebec Friday night, and Sunday, and
That'll be cool.
yeah,
Yeah, you looking forward to it?
yeah, I'm excited. It's cool. Like I said, like really cool set list we have. I think I like all the songs and
Yeah.
a lot of play and
You all
yeah,
practiced up?
it's good,
You've been
man.
doing your homework?
Yeah, I've been doing my homework. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing my homework right after this too.
Yeah, we've already made a deal that we're not gonna stay on here and talk for 2 hours afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, and other news is we will be going, on a schedule for now on. Thursday nights, we'll be on every Thursday night at 9:30, starting December. What's it? December 5th, I
If
believe.
Uh-huh.
Because next
Yeah, we'll
next
skip
week,
next week. It's
yeah,
Thanksgiving.
next week is Thanksgiving. So,
We'll be
so
too
yeah,
fat and happy to do anything next Thursday night, and we'll have
yeah,
family in, so
yeah.
yeah, so we'll
Look
skip
forward to
that,
doing
and
that.
then we'll hit the ground running, and, I think we're getting some pretty good people lined up, for December.
Yeah,
That'll be pretty
yeah,
cool.
we do. And it's been a little hectic me coming home from tour and trying to get back into the whole groove of everything. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But we
starting
had
the fifth.
that, and, of course, we spent the day together on, we were actually in the same room rather than on the same screen together on
Yeah,
Sunday,
yeah, yeah,
working on a couple guitars.
yeah,
That was fun. Had a good time setting up a couple of the V's.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we did the old green double arrow um,
Right,
that got set up. I had two of those guitars sitting in Poland for 5 years. So I got one of them back. The other one still is over in Germany right now. I'll get that
right.
next trip I go over there. But yeah, it was nice to get the guitar back. It's one of my favorite guitars, and I've done a lot of shows with that thing. Probably easily 100 shows with that guitar in the past. And yeah, it
Right.
was cool. We just we did a setup, did some fret work on it, and
Mhm.
we put a FU tone brass block in there. And I have
Right.
to say, it's like last night I sat and played this thing like
Did
all
you
night.
notice a difference?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How's it sound with your rig?
It's obviously the sustain is a bit more. It sounds a bit bigger.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, it definitely sounds better. I mean, it sounded great before, but now
Yeah,
when you A/B the FU tone stuff, I really believe in the product. It's a great
yeah,
thing, and yeah. So
yeah,
the guitar plays amazing now, and yeah, with the block in there, it's even better.
yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, and it was a fun day. We got a lot knocked out.
yeah, and then we have two other projects coming up, which we're going to do videos on all these projects we'll release eventually. Um,
Right.
so we have Henny, who's my the original guitar player with me in Goraphobia, and we have a project called Shadows together. And I have his old ESP from the early '90s. It's actually the first ESP eclipses that they made, and they
Mhm.
were a bit different than the ones today. So, and they were custom shop guitars. So, they were bolt-on necks with a 25. It's a 25, 25 and a half
Yeah.
scale length, and which is not your typical Les Paul Eclipse scale
Right,
length.
right.
Um, but it's an amazing guitar. It's also another green guitar. It's got a
Yeah,
cool green finish mahogany body with I guess it's like a maple top on there.
yeah. It's a nice
Um,
finish on it.
yeah, so we're going to be putting in the new Fishman Mick Thompson pickups, which
Right.
I'm pretty excited to check those pickups out.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear them.
And we're going to put a block in there as well. And
Mhm.
he got a cool like green. I don't know what you would call that. It's like a green colored,
It
chrome colored Floyd
it
Rose.
reminds me it's like remember back in the day on your BMX bike, you'd have, like, chrome Molly, like, that
Yeah, chrome
color,
Molly.
like,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
chrome Molly? That's
yeah,
what it reminds me of, is that
yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've never seen one like that. That's why the first time you held it up, and of course I was looking through the screen at it. Now I've seen it in person. Man, you can't believe how good it looks just seeing it through a camera. It looks better in person. I've never
yeah.
seen one like that.
Yeah, I think it'll work really well with green
Yeah,
body and
yeah,
yeah, I'm excited to for that guitar because it's an amazing guitar. And it's been around for a long time with Henny, and
yeah.
his number one baby. That
Yeah, I
guitar.
think he's gonna be happy with it, man. That thing's gonna be nice when we get done.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So, get all the
yeah,
frets worked up and everything, and, yeah,
yeah,
that'll be a good project, and we'll record that. We recorded this, past weekend too, and,
yeah,
I'll try to get that up and get it edited, and, it's, people don't understand, and we didn't when we first got started, so when you do, a couple guitars that take, I think we recorded for 2.5 hours, right around in there. To edit that is a
yep,
lot.
yeah,
So, getting that edited to where we can get it up, but, maybe that's something I'll do over the next week, and maybe that'll be the Thanksgiving week, if I
yeah.
can. I'm still kind of a novice at editing, so we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
then
that
and then the next one is my first ESP that I ever owned. It's a 1989 Maverick,
right.
ESP Maverick, and you can only get those guitars now through the custom shop in Japan. They're not like a standard series E2 guitar,
Right.
but it's similar to like a Strat shape, I guess, but it's a little bit different.
Mhm.
Um, and it's kind of it's I don't know, it's got the best neck I've ever played on
Yeah.
a guitar, or at least for me. And I put a lot of hours, tours into this guitar, a lot of recordings with it,
Right.
and it got pretty beat up. So we're going to be doing a whole FU tone upgrade on the guitar with the
Yeah.
Floyd. It's an original German Floyd, like the 1984 original Floyd Rose guitars on
Right.
the Floyd Rose bridges.
With kind
And
of the brass colored fine tuners on it. It's kinda
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we're going to upgrade it with FU tone stuff and a
Mhm.
block. And also, I got from Fishman. They sent me it's like a gold. It's a Fluence, modern Fluence humbucker, and a
Right.
single coil. It's a white single coil
Right.
Fishman, but I think it'll work good with the white guitar. And it used to be white, but it aged, so now it's
Right.
like a cream colored
It
guitar.
has a really cool aging it used to be a pearl, right? Like a pearl white.
Yeah, like a pearl white. Yeah,
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 that's kinda yellowed out. It looks really cool.
yeah, yeah. So I'm excited to. I mean, it's not. I don't think that guitar will come out in the road with me again, but for the
Right.
studio,
Yeah.
I plan on recording the guitar solos for the new Shadows album on that guitar. Maybe the
Oh,
new Immolation too. I'll do my solos
yeah.
with that guitar. Probably will. So
Yeah,
uh, yeah,
that's gonna
yeah,
be, a cool project. It'll be a cool video for everybody to see. I'm sure ESP is gonna be interested.
yeah, yeah.
When I talked to Fishman the other day, I let them know we're doing it. Of course, Ifutone knows we're doing it.
Yep.
So that'll be good for them also. I think it'll be a cool project.
Yeah, yeah. And it's cool when you. It's like when you bring a guitar back to life and you do all these things to it. It's
Yeah,
like a brand new instrument again. It kind of re-inspires you. And that's how I feel about the green one.
right.
Um, like I said, it was pretty much uncontrollable playing that thing last night.
Yeah.
Couldn't put it down.
Well,
And
I think there's one thing to be said for, a guitar that you can go out and buy, it's off the shelf, but then there's something different about a guitar that you created, you know? Like, this is
yeah,
something that you put together, it's like that young guy a couple weeks ago that had that classic vibe I talked about, same exact thing.
yeah,
When you
yeah,
put something together that maybe even isn't supposed to be together, it's kinda cool.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, pretty
So good
exciting.
projects, that's all stuff coming up in the future, and,
Hmm.
I think we have some exciting stuff coming up, for the viewers to kind of participate with, and if anybody has any questions, all 3 of you, anybody has any questions, feel free to fire them in, and we'll throw them up on the screen, but, I mean, some of it, we like to go over, like, let's not, I guess, not call it news, but like timely events. And I kind of scour the internet and I had to kind of make mental like mental notes during the week as I'm looking at things or doing things on the bench behind me and thinking stuff. So we talked a lot in the last podcast about import guitars and USA made guitars and all that kind of stuff. And I was running through something, and Paul Reed Smith must have been watching us. He wasn't. He definitely wasn't. But what did he say? The country is the country a guitar made is does not matter much. Paul Reed Smith thinks people should stop obsessing about guitars being made in America. That was his quote. That's a direct quote.
Yeah, I would agree with him because, like I said, a Japanese guitar is on the same level as a USA guitar nowadays, or it could be even better,
Right.
in my experience at least. So, and then you have, countries like Korea that make a lot of mass-produced guitars. Like, for instance, you have like, I don't know, I'm trying to think like,
Well,
ESP
everybody,
has LTD and
yeah,
PRS has the what is the
SE,
what is
the
SE
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 line there.
and I'm not sure if Epiphone are made in Korea. They're probably not. I think they're not.
Well, he used the example. I read the article where he made that quote.
Epiphone and
Yeah,
so what I'm getting at is these countries these imports come from, they're really caught up,
yeah,
in how to make a great instrument. And I'll AB my ESP, Japanese ESPs to my LTDs that are made in Korea. And
right,
I mean, there's definitely a difference, but a great guitar is a great guitar. I
right.
mean, and these guitars are just solid.
Yeah,
The playability,
yeah.
the tone out of the guitar, and yeah, it's really impressive. I mean,
Well, and I think some of what he was talking about, and he used the Santana model because, of course, that was one of his earliest, probably if not as early, the earliest customer he had. And
mhm,
then Santana wanted him to make student guitars or student level guitars, and he was talking about well, when Santana tried it out, he asked where they were made, and he said they were imported, and he signed off on it. And so, and his are made over in that factory in Korea, and the SE
mhm,
line. Um, I just think it's kind of weird. And you know me, I'm a Marylander. We're diehard about our flag and PRS guitars, and we know the
yeah,
lawyer guitars and doctor guitars and all that. But I think he was referring to it's kind of a sticky wicket, right? So he's referring to the craftsmanship. Um,
mhm,
but when they're made, so obviously they're made with cheaper labor when they're overseas, but they also use, it appears to me, that they use different materials. So they have different carves in the
yeah,
imports. Not necessarily the full violin cuts. They do the same-ish bridge, but it doesn't have a brass block. The cores that are made in America have brass blocks. And the bridges, the saddles are it's almost like they're made out of pot metal.
mhm.
You can see a clear difference. So yeah, yeah, I think he's probably talking about, and I think they're every bit as good. But I think they kind of, in my opinion, they kind of dumb down the electronics a little and some of the hardware. When the craftsmanship is there, but some things get dumbed down a little bit, it seems.
Well, it's funny you say about different materials that they have access to, and this I don't know, it just the light bulb went off. I remember a story about um, Eddie Van Halen, and I believe it's the first record and maybe the third record that guitar showed up on. But so he had a Ibanez Explorer, and I think it was a 75 or 76.
Right.
And that the guitar, if you've seen photos, it got cut up.
Mhm.
He said he ruined the guitar by doing that. He ruined the tone of the guitar. But
Right.
most of the first VH record is tracked with that guitar and that parts guitar that he put together, Frankenstein.
Right.
You
Uh-huh.
know, so um, from what I understand, that those guitars that were produced, the Flying V and um, the Ibanez, which was called the Destroyer, their
Right.
take on the Explorer, they used that koa wood, and from what
Mhm.
I understand, it was better than the Gibsons
Right.
making at the
Yeah.
time. And I think that's when you know companies like Gibson realized, wow, who are these Japanese people? They're making better quality guitars, and is it maybe possible that they just came across some better wood too? Where
Right.
it sounded better. I don't know. I don't
Right.
know if anyone heard that about those mid 70s Ibanez's that they
All
made,
right.
which were all Gibson copies
Uh-huh.
back then, for the most part, except for
Well,
like
you
the
remember I
SP.
have the poster of Eddie Van Halen with a Gibson Les Paul in his hand. Have I showed you that before?
Yeah, yeah, and he used that guitar a lot, and he
Yeah.
destroyed that guitar. It was from what I understand, it was a '59 too. So you know what
Oh,
that guitar would be worth
oh
nowadays.
my god.
He, like, ripped, the was it the neck pickup out of it and
Yeah.
stuff, and,
Yeah.
so,
Well,
and I think
it's funny. I've never seen this video, and I ran across it in the last couple of days of Eddie Van Halen talking about his first guitar, and he kind of did. He showed what he did. So he said he didn't have an amp, and this was when he first started playing. So he would take the guitar and lay it on the coffee table, lay the body on the coffee table as he was playing it. So it would the sound would resonate through the wood and the coffee table. Have you ever
wow.
seen that? I've not
No.
I thought I've seen all of his videos. I ran across that yesterday. I was like, "Huh, that's interesting."
Yeah, yeah.
It's a whole new tone with discussion going. You need to
Yeah,
find Eddie Van Halen's coffee table.
yeah,
It
destroy the
was pretty
guitar,
cool though.
paint it
He showed it. He just literally went over and sat the guitar like, as he was playing it, he sat it down, as it was upright on the table, so it was making contact with the table. It's pretty
Mhm.
interesting, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So,
So
yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I ran across that, from Paul Reed Smith, and that's kind of what we were talking about, import guitars, US guitars. Uh, so before I forget, I can show in case he's
oh,
watching,
oh.
Jeremy Sosville, a legend in his own mind shirt. I picked one up. You can go to a site and pick one up also. It's a cool looking shirt, man.
Yeah, it
It
looks cool.
Yeah,
Great
yeah,
guitar.
they did a good job on it. Again, I think it's a good cause. It's for the North Carolina hurricane relief. Um,
Yeah.
that they were trolling him and screwing with him and trying to sell shirts in his name. So he said, "Hell with it," and kind of joined in and
Yeah, yeah.
made something good out of it. I think it's kind of cool.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So we have, well, Black Friday is coming up next week, of course. Thank God Black Friday isn't what it used to be. Um, But I remember so I used to enjoy Guitar Center here. I don't know if all guitar centers did this or not, but the Guitar Center in Fredericksburg used to do they would send you out an invitation, and it's probably because it was for the people that spent too much money at Guitar Center in the prior year. So they would send you out an invitation, and they had a pre-Black Friday sale on Sunday night after they closed the store because they closed at like 6 p.m. So they would close down, and it was the coolest thing. They had refreshments there, and you could go in and play guitars. I would take my daughter down there. It was kind of for a few years, it was kind of our thing. Like that Sunday night, her and I would jump in a car after everything was closing down and drive down to Guitar Center, and we both play some guitars and maybe buy stuff, and things like that. But it was kind of a cool vibe. I don't know that they do it anymore, but they do have Black Friday sales. And have you looked at any of them?
No, I haven't. Yeah. Trying to avoid spending money.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, for me personally, I mean, there's some tools that I probably have I mean, I'm more looking at StewMac and the different tool companies. Not that I buy a lot of StewMac stuff, but
I get
watching some of that stuff.
tons of emails from StewMac, but it's been a long time since I bought anything.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, there are some things that I like that they make that I use for repairs and things like that. But I was just kind of going through. So just so when I look over there, I'm looking at my list. So the Black Friday deal, Sweetwater has a Les Paul, Gibson Les Paul. I think I have it up here. No, I don't. Hold on while I pull it up. So it's a Les Paul for 1999 from 25.99. I'll share it on the screen here in a second.
It was
And
made in 1999, right? Is that what you said?
what's that?
It's made in 1999. Is that what you
Oh, no, no,
said? Or,
no. It 19 the price. Oh, I don't have it.
oh, 1999. Okay.
Yeah, 1999. I I think I guess the reason I brought that up is and I tried to I don't have this on my I don't have it on my hot list here of things to pull up and share. But it's just a regular Gibson Les Paul standard, and it seems to me like Les Paul standard should be 19.99 every day.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, yeah.
25.99. So their big deal is Gibson Les Paul for 19.99 as opposed to 24.99.
Yeah.
That is still a lot of money. So that's their big deal. Sweetwater has that. Guitar Center, and I do have this one I can share up. So this is Guitar Center's. God, let me share. Present. Every time this is like a thing with me. They have this. Can you see that? Oh, there you
Ah,
go.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a it's a regular it's a Player Series Strat 929. Man, can you believe Player Series are 929?
Yeah, yeah.
It's I guess my thing is I'm looking at this on well, it is HSS. That's interesting right there, right?
Yeah, it looks
Interesting.
like a Gibson humbucker or something. Kind of.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
noiseless in it. But yeah, I just thought it's like that's a made in Mexico and we're Black Friday doorbuster deal 929.
Well, those those new EVHs, Frankenstein, ones that are aged, those
Uh-huh.
guitars, they're like 2 grand made in Mexico,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
It's and it's not about made in Mexico, but remember, I mean, it seems like not too long ago, if you bought a guitar over $1,000, it was almost guaranteed to be a USA made, with a
Yeah,
hard case.
a
And
thousand
now
dollars
it's like now
dollars
we're
you would have a great USA made guitar.
yeah, and then they're 12.99, now they're 2,000-ish. But now our doorbuster is like 929, and we're like, there's the sale of the century. Man, I sound like a downer, don't I?
Yeah, yeah,
But it is like the guitar market is just out of control. It's still I hate to whine about it every week, but it's so weird because the used market is the bottom is just falling out on it, but the new guitars are just still so expensive. It's really interesting. Then the other didn't want to clear my throat in the microphone.
I have to say, speaking of Fender, since I was at Roger's house the other day, now I have, it's in my head that I have to get a new Fender Strat because I checked it through his and I was just like, I gotta have one.
Do you need
So
the black one with the white LED? Kill switch.
Not that one. No.
That's my Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That's my
But
demo. That's my
but I
demo.
have to say, like, Fender, I still, like we were talking about in the last episode, I still think they're a really good company. They make really good stuff. And and I still think even you could get a better, or better or as good as an instrument as a Gibson at a lower price
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Fender. But then again, like some of these custom shop, aged Fenders are like insane amount of money, like 10
yeah.
grand, you know?
Actually, that is, I think I told you that is about $1,000 less than what I paid for the first one. Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
come down a lot on the used market. Those things that that right now you could find those 25, 27 on Reverb new,
mhm,
and that was new from 22, I think.
right,
But I mean, you could see it has never been out of the case before.
yeah.
But if you go looking for a brand new custom shop, they're what, like $4,300? 42?
Anywhere from there to 10.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm just talking about like a bare bones, like the
Oh, yeah,
tournament.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
so
mean, everything is, I mean, I've, Ibanez's, I've, seen some of the ESPs, and everything is just through the roof, like how much
right,
money these guitars
yeah,
cost. Like even like the custom shop ESPs,
yeah,
I know they're probably average around like 6 grand around now, something like that.
yeah,
And
and you can't
years ago you could get one for three, a few
right,
years back. Now it's like doubled that.
and you almost can't get the made in Japans now. Isn't there like a waiting list?
There yeah, yeah, there is.
Yeah,
That's why I got two new guitars from ESP last year that are LTDs, and it's
right,
because I have to wait to get the an E2 or
yeah,
just the ESP. I have to wait a while to
right,
get them. So it's because it's not just ESP. It's, I think, pretty much all the companies. Since COVID, they
right,
all the the distributors and that bought guitars been
yeah,
waiting. So those people they gotta get their guitars first, before
yeah,
artist gets a free guitar.
right,
But the two LTDs that I got, the Arrows, they're the deluxe series Arrows. Man, they are amazing guitars. So
yeah,
I'm not complaining. Like they're
yeah.
top notch.
Well, and I think it's odd that, the ESPs, all of them are so expensive now and waiting list. Used market, we've already talked about that. It's pretty much crashed out. You can find out anything you want at a decent price. But what I'm
Yeah,
noticing, and this is really so I guess I'm running on 5 years total, 4.5 being in business. Um, and this is the first full year of full time being in business, and this is the slowest I've seen the repair side. It's still like semi steady, and I mean for me it's actually kind of okay right now because man, there for a while I was doing 7 days a week just trying to keep up. But I've noticed that, and I can't draw out any trends or be able to forecast anything with only a couple or well, 1 full year of full-time, data, on,
mm,
you know, drawing any kind of trends or anything, but for me, like, since I've been doing it since the 1st of the year, this is the slowest it's been, so I don't know if that is, just people kinda tightening up or not as much money out there, the
yeah. Well,
uncertainty, or all of it.
holiday season, and you
Yeah,
know,
that's true. That's true.
hopefully
But
it
you
picks.
know what? I said that a couple times. There's been a couple little lulls during the year that last about 5 days, and then the next week I'm just running wide open again. So it's been
Yeah,
pretty interesting. I've talked to other people and they're kind of slow too. So,
yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple months.
Mhm.
Staying with the Black Friday theme, let me see if I mean we could just kind of look really fast over. This is so they should make this a little easier, or I should just be a little better with it. Um, oh, this is a cool one. So this was a Sweetwater deal. That actually isn't bad.
Oh, what is that?
Charvel.
Oh, it's just Charvel. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
nice.
that's not bad. That's a cool guitar.
Oh, yeah. I've
If
played
you like,
a couple of those Mexican Charvels, and
uh-huh.
they're really good guitars.
Yeah. Yeah,
That looks
that
that looks like pretty much almost like the same one as mine, which is mine is a USA one, but two
yeah.
humbuckers, but it's the same specs.
Yeah, I didn't think that was that's not a bad price for that. Um
Yeah, sure, it's a good guitar.
oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, we're both thinking the same. It would be cooler if it had some FU tone in it. Every time I see a Floyd, it's like gotta bling
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just a little bit. Let's see, what else did I have? Then we have, I mean, I just keep clicking a screen like you can see it. Let me hit presentation. This is probably boring everybody, but I always think it's kind of cool to see, what's going on for Black Friday because I know a lot of people are out shopping. I want to make sure
Mhm.
you can see this.
Turn off.
So, yeah, there's your 50% off. And don't forget, they came out with the new Hello Kitty in case you want to get one. So, and of
I'll get
course, what's that?
not a bad idea. I'll get Freya a Hello Kitty guitar.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we uh, we we didn't do Hello Kitty, but when Maya first started playing, we got her a Daisy Rocks because she was little thing when she
Oh wow,
started.
yeah, Daisy Rocks. Yeah, actually, I think Henny, my guitar player I was talking about earlier, he got his daughter,
Yeah.
when she was a kid, one of those guitars.
Yeah, it really
Uh,
worked out well because, well, I mean, it kind of one of those things, and I may have told the story during one of the shows where we were going guitar shopping. Of course, I wanted to get her like, every dad's like, "Oh, let's get her this one, let's get her that one," and the salesman comes out with it was like a hot pink bass boat metal flake Daisy Rock guitar, and my wife said, "That's the one." I'm like, she goes, "She'll love it," and she did. She
yeah.
played it a lot, and the thing about the Daisy Rocks, I don't even know if they're still around, but the Daisy Rocks had, kinda like a narrower, neck on it so her hand could fit around it, and she could fret chords and all that kinda stuff. So it worked well. But,
Nice.
yeah, so we didn't do Hello Kitty, we did Daisy Rocks, but,
Mm.
yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
somebody's gonna be happy to get a little Hello Kitty guitar.
Well, one day, both our daughters would be like, "These are gonna all be yours."
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, and it's funny, so every time, we've talked about my daughter's living in Richmond now, so, her guitars are still here, though, and I threaten to sell them all the time because she's not playing them, but I have to keep them because she's going to play them someday. We don't know which day it is, but someday. So, right now,
Two
they're
good
just yeah,
Yeah.
so I guess my last that like I said, I'm just kind of scouring the internet and listening during the week of things that I think are just interesting. And I so Eric Clapton got a new signature what? What do you think it is? Eric Clapton.
Well, he's had a couple different signature vendors, I'm pretty sure, and a wah, maybe?
Wow.
Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, you
Oh,
are.
okay. I didn't know that. So,
How did you guess that?
oh wow, oh wow. Yeah, I have to.
Oh, wow. $200. And it's gold and it has his I don't know, can you see it when I do the
Yeah, I can
when I
see
put
it.
the
Yeah,
cursor on it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. I might have to look into that.
yeah.
I'd like to get a new wah, so um,
That
my old one I need to get repaired, which is from the 80s, but I have a
that
Kirk
would
Hammett wah, which is a
oh,
really good. The only thing about the Kirk Hammett, it's
yeah,
just you just have one function, where
yeah,
old Crybaby, you have like three different voicings or whatever you want to call it.
yeah. I think mine's just a plain crybaby. It's just
Yeah,
black.
yeah, I'm curious about
It's
the.
definitely not blingy gold. But
I
yeah,
I've heard. What's
what's
that?
that?
No, I didn't. I
I
heard that there's a couple different crybabies. Like there's the Jerry Cantrell one. I heard is a really good wah pedal, and the
yeah,
Zach Wild one I heard is really good.
yeah.
But
I could understand those, but when I'm telling you, I'll be honest, I after I thought about it, I was like, "Okay, definitely with cream, I remember some wine in there," but, later on, when I saw he had a wah, I looked at it, I thought it was kind of a joke.
yeah,
I was like, "Sure enough, he has a wah pedal."
yeah, I'm sure certain songs. I mean, I love Cream, huge
Yeah,
Cream fan. I just never got into Eric Clapton on his own,
yeah, yeah,
as a
yeah,
solo artist. But yeah, I loved his tone.
yeah.
Cream, phenomenal. So
Well, now you can have a shiny gold
for
Eric Clapton.
$300.
Wow. And you can play Kirk Hammett solos with your Eric Clapton shiny gold.
I'll hook 'em
Wow.
both up, we'll see what happens.
Get them both going like a
Battle.
brake and a gas pedal, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So that's everything on my list. You know me, I always have my list that I look at over here. So just things that I
yeah,
think are interesting during the week.
yeah.
What have you been listening to musically?
Merciful Fate, and that's pretty much been it.
Yeah?
You know, I went to see King Diamond, um, when I came home. My wife went and went to see
Uh-huh.
him play in Maryland, and most of my close friends know I'm, a huge Merciful Fate fan, which is King Diamond's original band.
Right.
And yeah, so I just been kind of, you know, I guess still got that hair standing up on my arms from seeing King Diamond, and
Yeah.
you just start listening to his discography, his solo stuff, and the Merciful Fate stuff. And I've actually, I'm still stuck in the old days. I didn't really get into too much of the later Fate albums that they did when they got back together, but I've been diving into them. And there's one
Right.
record that I'm actually really like now. It's called Dead Again,
Uh-huh.
and so I've been listening to that a lot. And of course, like the early stuff, the EP from 1982, and this record, 1983, Melissa.
Right.
Um, One of the greatest heavy metal bands ever. I put Merciful Fate up there with Judas Priest and Maiden. They're just as important.
Right.
So, but yeah, a lot of Merciful Fate and
Yeah.
Pink Floyd actually. Sid Barrett.
Really?
Like
Really?
the Sid Barrett solo records.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much been it. How about you? What do you
I
get? What do you
I
listen
haven't
to?
I haven't been listening to anything in particular. I just kind of listen to whatever's on. I don't find myself. I mean, there's sometimes that I'll throw something on at the gym, especially if we're getting ready for something. And just listen to it. The rest, I just keep it streaming.
Yeah,
Just keep it going, and whatever's on, I'm just kind of into.
yeah.
So
I listened to some old demos and stuff that during the tape trading days in the 80s, like
really,
death metal, thrash, and hardcore and stuff. Because Dave Whitty, the drummer of Municipal Waste, when we were on the tour, me and him would sit up and just talk about the old days and tape trading, all the great demos and stuff like that. So
right,
a lot of that stuff too, like nostalgic reasons, you put that on.
right.
And it's like, "Man, this is still amazing, and
Do you
so
still have a lot of those tapes?
I have a few, but most of them are I sold years ago. Actually, the ones that I had left. And,
Right.
yeah, I mean, I sold some of those demos for really good money, actually, for hundreds of
Wow.
dollars for 3-song cassette, you know.
Really?
But yeah, I got rid of some classics, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I kind of regret it, and then I'm just like, no big deal, you know.
Right.
Um,
Somebody else is enjoying it, right?
yeah, it's like younger kids that are
Yeah.
buying that stuff. They usually, you know, they want a piece of history of, you know, the band that was, you know, before they were signed and had a record deal and their
Right.
demo tape circulating, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that, you know.
That's cool. So I think this week if it stays kind of like it is, kind of it's like I said, a couple are coming in here and there, but usually it's during those times I'll wind some pickups. I'm thinking of going for a set of P90s.
Yeah,
Uh,
you know, I gotta do the P90s on one of my guitars.
yeah, yeah.
To do it, you know. I was actually looking at, you know, like a Gibson Les Paul Jr.
Oh yeah,
Always liked them, so
yeah.
that's
That,
on the horizon at some point.
yeah, that would be cool. You know what? I don't think I've wound a set since we talked with Spencer about it from Full of Hell.
Mhm.
I don't think I've done a set since I've done humbuckers and all that. But I'm thinking about making one that, super hot on the bridge and a little lighter on the neck,
Yeah,
just so it doesn't get too muddy. Sometimes they get muddy if you get too
yeah.
many lines on
You
them.
know, this will be a project for you in the future, but so all 2 of you that are watching, you can
Oh,
vendors,
it's one now.
destroy my guitars here. Um,
Let me count and see how many people. One.
yeah, we got 1 person. So for all you 1 people that are watching, this
I've never
guitar
seen that.
and, yeah, so I gotta get Roger to, make some pickups for this thing,
Yeah.
you know, because it's a great guitar, but, I'm not a big fan of the pickups, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, we'll
What
do
year is it?
this. Let me see. I got it in 2000, maybe 18, something
Oh,
like
okay.
that. My
Yeah.
wife got it for Christmas, actually. So,
Yeah.
uh, you know, nothing better than a guitar. You know, if your wife's getting your guitar, you got a pretty damn cool wife, I tell you.
That's
She's
right.
got me my favorite guitar. She got me as well. So, but yeah, so this one will definitely
Yeah.
be cool to get Roger's pickups put in there.
Yeah. Figure out which ones you want. Let's wind the set and throw them in there. Change the wiring up in it.
Yeah, so everybody knows Roger winds his own pickups, makes his own pickups. So if you're interested, reach out to him. Tell him
Yeah.
what you're looking for.
Yeah. I like to I don't like to do the and we've talked about some of this. I don't like to do the things that, most of the pickup winders are doing, like get something really hot with, I they use different wire, different gauge wires and all that. I like to wind them like the old PAFs the way they were wound then, you know.
So here's a technical question for you about pickup winding. So the thing is about single coils, as we all know, they can be very noisy pickups.
Uh-huh.
So how would you go about cutting the noise down? And,
It's weird. So that 60 cycle hum noise, I mean, a lot of it is you notice you get it while they're by themselves, but when you put two together, you don't. And that's because of the winds and the way that they have the magnets. So south, north, just keeping them opposite. So if your outsides are north, you put your inside or your middle one in south. So that way when you get in those position 2 and 4, kind of makes it buck the hum like a humbucker.
right, right.
Sorry about that. I had to clear my
So
throat.
that's where they come
So
up with Bucker.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's weird because I don't get a lot of hum in the pickups that I've been winding. Not saying
Mhm.
I'm doing something different. Even I've had some other guys send in some, like Dylan Talks Tone, that guy that Dylan pickups. He winds are really good pickups, and
Mhm.
Braylons are good pickups. I don't get a lot of hum out of those single coils either.
Mhm.
Um, you're gonna get a little, and even the P90s, which are
P90s too, yeah.
notorious. I mean, they're
Which is
notoriously loud and noisy, hummy pickups, but I do kind of that same kind of style north south on those to where you don't get that much of a hum out of it. Um, but what I've seen, so I guess the answer is that like I don't really get a lot of hum, and I don't know why. Um, and I've noticed some of the better winders that come in don't have a lot of hum in them. It's kind of unfair to compare them with like the new Fenders because like the picture we saw earlier, they're mostly noiseless now.
Mhm.
Which is, you know, it one day we're gonna have to like get nerdy. And I know we probably lose all the people that watch you for metal and the music talk when we start talking nerdy stuff. But we'll have to talk about like coil splitting, coil tapping, and the difference because people use them like they're the same thing and they're just not. Not that
Yeah.
it's a big deal, who cares? But the noiseless is almost like it's almost like a humbucker that's stacked up. So that
Mhm.
I didn't know if you knew that or not.
You know what?
So
I had, one of my old, Fenders I had, Strats, it had lace sensor pickups,
uh-huh.
well, and they were pretty clean.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
you know
They're a kind of a different animal. I just had a
Yeah.
set of those, remember? A couple weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
and they were really good to deal with. We had one that, was a little wonky, and, I think they whined to order, if I'm not mistaken. There's a set of fire spitters that I installed, and, I think we actually talked about it. So, one I had a little wonky problem, probably happened in shipping or whatever, and I got a hold of them, and they were like, "We will wind one and have it to you by the end of the week." They were good pickups. They sounded good. They're kind of, I mean, they're epoxied into the cover, so they're kind of a different animal altogether. But yeah, that
Yeah.
I just put a set of noiseless, newer noiseless pickups in last week and into a Strat and rewired it with I use vintage pullback wiring on it, and
Mhm.
it sounded really good. And a lot of people, including me, I'm not a big fan of noiseless, and I have people that absolutely will have them yanked out of their Strat and have a different set put in. But the last couple of sets they've made improvements since the N3s and the original noiseless. They've made improvements. The newer ones sound good, but they kind of get that by it's almost like they'll do a counterclockwise wind on the bottom and then a clockwise on the top. So,
Yeah,
it kind of bucks itself. It's like a stacked humbucker is
yeah.
exactly how they do it. And in doing that, I put one, I had a gentleman bring a Telecaster in and wanted to have a noiseless put in the neck. And I forget what we put in the bridge, it's been a few months ago. But the
Mhm.
the issue that we had is when I took out the original Telecaster humbucker and put the new one in, it was so much thicker that it was bottoming out. I couldn't raise and low well, I could raise it. I couldn't lower it, so I had to take some material out of the bottom of the pickup cavity. But yeah, they tend to be a little bit bigger, but the last noiseless that I've done has sounded pretty good. But I don't get we didn't try those the other day while you were here. We'll have to try them so you can hear. I don't get a
Yeah.
lot of them, but maybe it's the way I'm doing it too. You really have to make sure that you orient the magnets right. I also do a counterclockwise and a clockwise wind, and that probably all helps, I would say. You definitely
Mhm.
get no buzz at all in 2 and 4, and minimal, if any, in the rest of the positions.
Yeah.
Did that answer that was a long, drawn out answer to a question.
No, it's interesting. That's why we're here.
Yeah, yeah, when you wanna do the, pickups for your Strat, you can come over and you can line them. You can hold the
Yeah.
wire.
Yeah, we'll do a little experiment.
Yeah, that you know what? I have to tell you, not to be all, sappy or anything, but it is so fulfilling. Like, I remember my first set that I made. I did it at, Hawkins, Guitar. He's a luthier in Virginia Beach. Great guitar builder, built some beautiful guitars, but while we were down there, I said, "Hey, I see you do a class on, building pickups," and he goes, "Hey, we'll have time this week. Let's do one." So
Mhm.
we did a set, wax potted them the whole 9 yards, and, I came back home from Virginia Beach, and I didn't have anything to put them in, so, I purposely bought I looked on Craigslist and I found, I think it was a '96, blue Strat, and it was actually a really good Strat, but it was
Oh,
cheap. Like,
yeah, yeah,
it was I think I bought that thing for, like, 550 bucks, and it was an American. It was a USA Strat.
yeah,
Um, Picked it up, put those pickups in it. It sounded and played great. But it was
yeah.
also, like, so cool that you're making a sound, it's like, "Okay, I made it make this sound." It's kinda cool. We'll have to let you
Sure.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah,
sit down,
yeah. That'll
figure
be
out what spec you want, and sit over here and hold a wire for an hour or so. So,
hmm
it's a little boring. So, for me, I love winding pickups, but and I don't mind it once I'm in the process of winding a pickup, but it takes me a lot to get motivated to wind a pickup. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
just to said, "Oh, like, alright, let me get everything out and sit here and hold this wire for a little while." But then once you
yeah.
do it, it's like, "Oh, geez." You make it out to be more than it is in your head.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
what do you have on your list? Or is your list full?
Uh, I guess that's
Anybody have
about
any
it.
questions? There's
Yeah.
3 now. Any of the 3, 2 have any questions before we go? And we can wrap it up. We're right at an hour.
Yes. So everybody knows though, so starting December 5th, which I think is on Thursday, we will
Yep,
be going Thursday nights, 9:30 we'll be on here every week.
yep,
And like I said, we have a bunch of cool guests lined up. And we'll start getting some guitar video stuff out, too, of
right.
some of Roger's projects. And some of them have a tiny bit of help from me, a little
A
bit.
lot of help one Sunday.
But yeah, so that'll be cool. And yeah, looking forward to it's actually hasn't even been a year that we've been doing the show. And
Right.
so
Yeah,
yeah, looking
we
forward
talked
to
about
it.
it the other day. It was like February, I think, when we started.
Right.
So we're doing
Yep.
pretty good. We're gonna get more consistent. We're gonna get more guests on. And some from the musical world and some from the guitar world. It's gonna kinda
hmm
I think the way we've discussed it is gonna kind of bounce back and forth. It'll be music, it'll be guitar and music. We
Yeah.
really I think both of us feel pretty strongly about doing these round tables. I
Yeah. Yeah.
really I know I
Yeah.
say it every time, like, there's nobody else doing that, like,
Yeah.
get get some people and just discuss some topics, and,
Yeah.
I do like, talking about, things that are timely in the guitar news, if you will. But I think that'll be cool to get some people in and bounce some ideas because I know there's people out there that are really interested in the writing aspect or the tape trading aspect, things like that. And maybe they want to get on and just rather than typing questions in the comment section, they want to get
Yeah.
on and chat with us. I think it'll be cool.
Be a lot of fun.
It's good
Absolutely.
stuff. So in a couple weeks, we'll be on every week.
Yep. Yeah.
Everybody
And
subscribe so you'll be
yep.
notified.
And
Uh,
also we are on Spotify as well. So follow us on
Absolutely.
Spotify. And
Yep.
we're on Apple as well. Or yeah,
Apple,
right. Yeah.
Spotify. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can find us there. And we also have a Facebook page. So you can follow us there for any news on the channel. And yeah, I guess that'll be it for tonight. And we'll see people in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Don't forget to
So,
subscribe so you'll know when we're doing this, and we appreciate you tuning in.
yep. Have a good
Have a
night,
good week.
everyone.